Hi all, this is just a quick video on Oblique View for anybody that may be a little bit unsure about it. So first of all, I'm just going to talk about the setup of the page. So here you can see I have a 10mm border all the way around the page. I've used masking tape. You can see how the masking tape doesn't cut off the corners. And down here, and you can barely see the top. In the border you can put your name in capitals, the question number it is. I've just labelled this question 1 just as an example, and I've put in Oblique View as the title because I'm going to do an isometric as well. But you don't really need to put this in, but if you want to, you can. I've already set up the grid, so this is probably the most important part, but I didn't really need to record it. So I'm going to pull in the phone with the question number on it, and we'll zoom in. So here we've been given the question that you have on Scuji. We have the HMV logo here, and we're going to draw it in oblique this time. So we're going to create an oblique view of the logo. We can see the height is 100mm, so it's 10mm squares high. So each one of these is 10mm, and it's 250 long. So I put it in the center of the page, and I've just drawn the grid. Now, if you don't put in the grid properly, so if the spacings aren't perfectly even, you're going to mess up everything. So this is the most important part. Make sure your grid is correct. Whether you're doing it in oblique or in isometric, it needs to be accurate. So moving on, I'm just going to create the HMV logo here real quick. I'll leave the phone out of the way and I'll zoom out so you can see this. But for now, I'm just going to mute the microphone, and then I'll come back in a second. Okay, so that's that done. You see, I made a few mistakes over here, but I did rub them out. So just double check everything. So I joined this to the wrong point here first, and I only put one space between the H, but I fixed it here now. And there we go, there is the first part of the question done. Now I'm going to make this oblique. So I'm going to start with the H, and I'm going to work my way across. I usually start at the top corner. So I'm going to bring it out at 45 degrees, because in oblique everything comes out at 45 degrees. So I'm going to bring out just the top for now. And I'm going to check how far back the H goes. So to have a look in here, you can see that the plan view of the object shows that it's 10 millimeters deep. So this is going to come back 10 millimeters. So you need to measure along that 45 degree line, 10 millimeters accurately. And then you can bring it across and you can create your oblique view. I can then drop this down lightly and extend out to hit it. I can bring that across. I have now the first part of the H complete. I'm going to continue on this left hand side, and I can extend down this without having to measure. I'm just making sure to finish off every line before I move on. So I'm finished as far as here now. What I have to finish is the far side of the H. And there's my H complete. So then I can extend this line here, because all these letters are the same thickness, and I can then extend the lines on my M at 45 degrees to hit that line. I'll have to extend this one here. And a really neat trick is you can either measure 10 millimeters along that, or you can take this point and bring that across, and you'll find that point that will be back 10 millimeters as well. So I have that part of the M complete. I now need to find this inclined edge here. First off, I'll finish that line before I forget. So to find this inclined edge here, you can do it two ways. One, you can go parallel using your sliding set squares, like this. So set up a set square and return it down parallel like that. Or you can, as normal, extend out at 45 degrees, measure your 10 millimeters, and then just join back. Stop where it meets the M there. We'll have to do the same down here. I'm going to use the sliding set squares method for this one. So line up an edge, slide your set square, and there you go, there's the back edge of that inclined part of the M. And then the last part, the back part of the M. And there we go. Now I'll do the V same way as before. Going back to 45, 10 millimeters. And measure back 10 millimeters along here and join it back up. And there we have it. We have the HMV logo finished in Oblique. And just making sure that this line is in heavy, which it is. And that's everything done perfectly. I'll just zoom out. Send me a message if you have any questions.